Hello everybody, a very warm welcome to Crafters TV. Good to see you. My name is Ben Mosby. Thanks for being here. Middle show on the middle day of the week. It is Wednesday, it is launch day. If you were here earlier on this morning for Wake Up Call, you will know that we have got a brand new launch in the form of some Sheena 3D embossing folders. And it's such a brilliant collection of embossing folders that you're going to receive. Two fabulous 3D embossing folders, the most beautiful and the most stunning emboss you're going to be able to achieve, with dies as well, allowing you to achieve a wonderful die cut and a beautiful emboss to go on top of that as well. We have a brilliant Showstopper for you. Again, if you were watching Wake Up Call, you've probably already bought it. A quarter of our Showstopper has already gone inside that hour preview that we did this morning. So it's set to be a super busy show. And what I will say, as I said all the way through that show, listen, if you're thinking of getting both of the brand new embossing folder and die sets, you just need to go for the Showstopper, because as I'll show you in a minute, for an extra £4 or $4, you are going to get a heap of stuff that you're just going to want to get your hands on. Launch day is now. Must just tell you that tonight, live at 5, we have got Beautiful Beginnings. That again is very much down the route of all things embossing. So if you love your embossing, today is your day. And think about any questions that you might fire our way in that show a little bit later on, because we will be heading over to Essentials Corner for the final half hour or so. So we need your questions, please. Get ready to fire those in just a bit. Let's say hello, though, to the man on the other side of the studio who is ready to inspire you. He's got demos lined up and ready to go. However, as per usual, if there is anything particular that you want to see, any questions that you want to ask, any requests, get them in and we will try and facilitate that for you over the course of the next couple of hours. It is the one and only, I've just realised we're slightly matchy-matchy today with our colours.
Well, a little bit.
Completely by accident though, Craig, isn't it?
Matchy-matchy, yeah. We're going for the blue and the white tones within this show. Yeah, really are, see? In sync together.
Good to see you. Busy early show though, wasn't it?
Really, really busy earlier show within Wake Up Call. You guys taking advantage, of course, of which Wake Up Call is all about, and that is for you to take advantage of what we've got throughout the day.
Yeah.
Later on, what we'll do is maybe tie in some techniques from this launch in with items that are beautiful beginnings. But yeah, the most beautiful embossing folder and die set from the talented Sheena. These are very versatile, in which you can use the folders on their own. They're 4x6, and of course they're 3D, but then you've got the die to use with it if you want. When you come back to me, I'll show you the boards, I'll show you some finished samples before we crack on with the actual demonstrations.
Yeah, it is such a clever system, and once again, you're going to fall in love with this. And just very quickly, I know Craig is going to show you all through the boards and some finished samples when it comes to the new Sheena collection, but this is the Showstopper, and this is why I really think you need to get your hands on it, because the two new dies and embossing folders are just here for you. As I say, you'll see in more detail in just a second, but you've got your Balance and Tranquility, which are the beautiful fish, and then you've also got your Tree of Life, just exquisite illustrations. You expect nothing less from Sheena, and the fact you get the embossing folders and the dies in there is incredible. 4x6 is the size of the embossing folders, so if you were to just buy those in a bundle on their own, that would be £20 or $28 platinum. However, if you go for the Showstopper, you get everything else you're seeing on your screen right now for £4 or $4. That is a tricolour brush pen from the Reflective Pool, so you get 3 colours, which ombre beautifully together. You're going to get your tricolour aqua marker in there as well, so water-soluble pen there. That is the beautiful Garden Majesty, so 3 colours, but essentially, you know, you're adding the water, mix and match those up, create all of the different gradients of colour from that one pen with the 3 colours. You've got your Vintage Corner frame set here. That on its own worth $16.99 is in the bundle. You're going to get one of our shimmer ink pads. That's the beautiful Evergreen, giving you that beautiful colour and then that silver shimmer to go with. You've got the Thankful stamp and die set, 3-piece set, and also the Written in Feathers sentiment stamps, 10 different sentiments included in that. So everything there you are getting on top of the brand new launch for just £4 or $4 if you are a platinum member. And without exception today, I can say people have either gone, I'll have one or the other and bought individually, or they've bought the Showstopper. I don't think anyone yet has just bought the 2 dies on their own, because they're going, well, hang on a minute, for paying extra £4 or $4, I can have all of that as well. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. But I wouldn't lie, I never lie. But we are well over a quarter of the stock now gone on the Showstopper. So soon you will only have the option to get those two because all of these goodies will be gone. So get in nice and quickly, spend that extra £4 to get more. A few quick hellos and then we'll go over to Craig. We have got Dan on the socials for this show. Stephanie says, good morning, afternoon from Farmingdale, New Jersey. Hello, Teresa Campbell in Illinois. Lois joins us in Ohio. Linda Borchard says hi. Gillian Denton says hello. Trudy Bickham says hi. Sherland Helsford says good morning from bright and sunny San Antonio. And Pat Demarest says, good day, Ben, Craig, the talented crew, and all my lovely crafty friends from a sunny and bright New Jersey. Ruby's in Montana. Hi, Ruby. Hi, Don. Saying hello again. And Altje de Vries says, hello, everyone. Just back in time. Hello to Jan, Ben, and Craig. Altje, have you done your craftimonial yet? Remember what we said yesterday, if you can, in Dutch, and then we'll subtitle it. Be very excited about that. Very excited. No, Altje's going to do it and then translate it for us. Or we could just run it through like Google Translate, couldn't we?
Yeah, you have to be watched though sometimes. Have you ever watched us on YouTube with the subtitles? Have you ever watched me on YouTube when I'm here with the subtitles?
What, is it going like a bit dodgy?
Just a wee bit. Sometimes I think it doesn't quite catch my Scottish accent.
Oh,
and
no.
it sometimes thinks some words that I'm saying are not actually the words that I'm saying.
Well, like rude words?
Yes, very rude words on some occasions. Try it. If you're watching on YouTube today, stick on the subtitles. See what I'm saying.
Have a laugh. Shall we have a look at what you're getting with Craig? So the deal is phenomenal, but let's have a look at these brand new embossing folders and dies.
Yes, because really going back to Wake Up Call, if you didn't see Wake Up Call, as I was saying, such a gorgeous collection. But what a great, great price we've got them. Now, I know we always strive to give you the best price we absolutely can, but 3D folders with dies from Sheena for that price, phenomenal. And I'm not surprised no one's actually gone for just the 2 folders as a combo. But what we've got, Balance. Oh, so we have got someone. Oh, so Hillary has. She's
Hillary and
gone
Holly
for just the 2. Each to your own. But
Exactly.
at least we've got something for everyone. But yeah, we've got the Balance and Tranquility here. Just to reiterate once again, it is 4x6 in size and it's a 3D embossing folder. And this is the effect that you get, even onto mirror cardstock. So much depth and detail. These are the dies. We'll show you them just shortly, but you can then, of course, die cut them out and then you can then pop them on top. Just a quick little hint though, what you're wanting to do is you want to die cut first, then emboss. Don't emboss, then die cut, because if you do that, you'll flatten a lot of the image. So that's why you want to do it that way. And then you've also got the Tree of Life. So you've got, I think as I said earlier, maybe like 5 or 6 layers when you've got, and you get that when it comes to anything with leaves or branches or foliage, because there's so much depth in there. And it's one that you could then start to snip into and fussy cut if you want. But then you can see what a lot of Sheena's design team have done. This one's by Pamela. I am quite sure that if you go onto the Inkette group, you will find lots of other ideas as well. No doubt Sheena will be doing shows on her social pages when it comes to these ones. But look at that one there. So that one's your black background with the Gilding Wax, but look how vibrant with the colours over the top. That one, I'm going to, well, if I show you that while I try and look, so it's written in pencil, black on black card. Pamela. Pamela's made that one. Pamela's made that one. Then Debbie with an I, D-E-B-I, has made that one. We've also then got that one also from Pamela as well. So seeing how you can then get different depths again. So not just depths within the cut and emboss, but depths within the colour, going with the pastel, doing your shading, colour blend pencils, aqua blend pencils, aqua pens that Debbie's done in that one. Lisa's done that one. They are all beautiful. I think for me, this one is just phenomenal. This for me, little 4x6, maybe 5x7 box frame on the wall. What a great piece of home decor. And turning it round, because you've got that ability of layering up when it comes to the actual foam pads or glue gel. Such a lovely one that Lisa's done there. Then this one, also again, another beautiful, beautiful one from Debbie here. And I want to say, it's a couple of like different layers of your Gilding Waxes or some form of the waxes, but maybe starting to mix them together, blend them together, really is beautiful. And although you've got additional depth, straight away at first, Ben, you do think that it is just one pass through. but if I turn it through, you can see that the dye has been used. So you're getting so many ways in which you can use them. Going into the tree of life here, cherry picking little sections, colouring into them. What about using them as backgrounds and borders?
That's one of my favourite samples.
I'm not surprised.
It's incredible.
Not surprised. So of course, doing your inking, going over the top with maybe your Midas ink pads. We're going to use the embossing powders to start with, really quick and simple.
So that outer frame there is just taken from the tree?
It is, yeah. So if I just put that one there so I can have a closer look. So yeah, what was it? It was Debbie that's done this one. So what she's done is that's 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 sections of the tree, and then the same there.
Yeah.
So essentially she's cut and embossed that 6 times, and then just layered 3 down the side, and then 3 down the side.
That is what you call thinking out of the box.
It really is, yeah. Debbie, forgive me if it's not maybe quite right in that way, but I see 3 different sections there. So to me, visually, it kind of looks like that's what she's done. But going back to that one, spend a bit of time there from Pamela here. So dramatic. It's as if you've got the sunset away there in the background, going in with your lilacs and then your golds over the top, going in again. This one is even just using the dye on its own with your gold cardstock.
Yeah.
Not embossing it, just keeping it flat, but then doing that kind of shadow. Another beautiful one here from Debbie, going in with maybe things such as your metallic pencils or your metallic pens. Start to bring all these out here. And also, just Tracy's made this one. So, not our Tracy, Tracy on Sheena's design team. And that is going in black card and silver gilding waxes. And notice as well, other than maybe 1 or 2, no sentiments.
No, very true.
And that's what you're going to find in my demos as well. You know what I mean? That one there that Pamela's done, it's got the sentiment on there. Your little block sentiment stamps, you know the ones that came out with the stamp in the mask?
Yeah.
All of those would work really, really well. But I think sentiments aren't necessarily needed.
Just put a verse inside, can't you?
You could put a verse inside, that's it. So yeah, all of these, Ben, we're going to kickstart really simple where it comes to white card and pearlescent card with a little bit of clear embossing. And then as the 2 hours go on, we'll do different techniques and different styles.
Wendy Graham says, hi Ben and Craig and community and all the crafters. I missed this morning's show as I was at hospital. Well, Wendy, hope you're okay. Hope everything went well. Mary Beth Doyle says, good morning everyone from Minnesota. The snow is starting. Blizzard is forecasted. Well, stay safe in the blizzard. And Christine Mahoney joins us saying hello again. Yes, it appears that we now have at least one person has bought the bundle, which is Holly and Hillary. Well, not Holly, Hillary and Holly. And also, thank you, Alcho, who says you're potentially going to do the Craftamoni. We say not yet, but I will try. And Sandy said if you want to go and do it in Dutch, that is possible, as you do have a Dutch-speaking member on your DT. Well, there we go. Well, that's brilliant. So we're covered then, basically. We are covered. Hi, Stephen, who's just joined us in Andover, saying good afternoon to Ben and Craig. There you go. He's off again.
You were deed.
Get in touch. Say hello. Ask those questions, let us know what you're shopping for, and as I say, do check out the website as well, particularly if you're into your soft craft this week. March, of course, is National Craft Month, so we have got special sections up each and every week on different crafts. This week we are looking at all things soft craft, so maybe we reignited a soft craft flame within your heart yesterday after the Wool Couture shows. You can find loads of soft craft goodies with 40% off with the code NCM Softcraft. No, NCM Soft 40. Got it right earlier. NCM Soft 40. But it's there on the website for you, so you'll be able to see it. Right, let us get into it as Julia Chiverton joins us in Exmouth. What are you going to show us first, Craig?
Right, so we're going to kind of extend a little bit of a demo that we've done earlier on where we've done it in white. So I'm going to do that again. Let's use our Watermark ink pad. Now, Ben, I want you to watch closely with this demonstration.
Oh.
Because we're going to do something like this with you later on tonight in Beautiful Beginnings.
Yikes.
I know you've dabbled in with embossing folders on past Beautiful Beginnings.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is I want to bring in and just like step it up a gear for you. So what I am going to do here is let's go in with the Balance and Tranquility. And then I'm going to have a little bit of a feel. So earlier on, we'll do it again just shortly, where you do things such as your letterpress technique. You'll hear me say you want to then feel for the raised detail, which is that side. But when we are doing, essentially what we're about to do now, a letterpress, what I actually want is I want the deboss side here. So actually the raised side is going to be the background.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to be inked up. So I'm going to go in with my watermark, and as if I am doing my, like your water-based ink pad, just going over the back here.
How do you know if you've got enough on here if you can't see it?
So you will be able to see it because you
right.
get can you see that little bit of a glisten coming off the folder
yes,
now?
so it is easy to see.
So you will see. You really can't do too much. It's not as if it's a water-based glue, as in it's water. It's just then kind of like a gel, essentially.
Is that just quite a light touch again that you're doing there?
I am just going light, and I'm just going back and forth, just making sure that I know that I've got a good coverage.
Yeah.
Of course, you don't have to do it on black card. I'm just doing it because you guys at home, it's easier for you to see compared to if I just do it like that. So I'm going to go in with my white cardstock. So I'm going to pop my card in the other way to start with. And the reason I do that, Ben, if I pop my card onto there, I'm going to have to end up moving it. So I'm going to then squidge all that water-based mark pad onto my card. So I'm going to turn it around, put it on the dry side, line it up. I'm going to trim this just a little bit smaller than I need to, and that'll stop any of the cracking or tearing at the edges. So they are 4 by 6, so I'm going to come a couple of millimeters under 4, and then a couple, well, I'm actually just under 6 there, so that's fine. So then let's go back and do what I was away to do. So let's pop this into here, and then we're going to close our folder, and we'll go and start off base doing this technique. We'll bring in our ink pads later on. We'll do some colouring as well. But now what I've got is I've got it on my base plate. And remember, because it's 3D, it's your magnetic shim, and then it is your frosted shim. And then we're going to run that one through. I've got my heat tool, and I've got clear embossing powder. Of course, you could use... Do we have a coloured one, actually?
Did we?
Did we? I think we've just got typical gold, and have I got anything in my craft case?
I bet you have in your bag of tricks.
My bag of tricks.
I always think Craig's gone on holiday whenever he walks in the studio because he wheels in
You hear,
like a suitcase.
you hear me coming before
you
you
do.
see me with my case. Let's just, so that my back isn't turned right to you, let's just have a look.
There we go.
Yeah, you can go overhead,
We
Jamie.
can go in. Nothing in there that shouldn't be in there.
What sort of things do you think I would keep in my case, Jamie, that you're scared to go overhead? No, I've not really got, this is just all like little glitters in there. I will just keep it to a clear embossing then. Okay. And let's...
And I'm taking note here because I'm doing this later, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Good news.
So what we've then got, I'm now not sure if you can quite see it, but way into the background is now my watermark. So that watermark, it's translucent, so it is going to be quite hard for you to see. But what it then does is it means then we can go over and then sprinkle our embossing powder. And what will happen is the embossing powder will only stick to the background.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to tap that off where my fingers were. Let's just pop that under, pick that up. So that background is going to be powdery. So if I bring in my heat tool, and then let's get this to temperature to start with. Just going to then start off. Now this will be hard, going to be really hard to see embossing onto white card. But what will happen is once I do show you after it's done, you'll see that contrast with the glisten kind of shining on the background compared to the actual detail. Jamie, it's pointless. I could be doing absolutely anything. You're believing me right now. But trust me, the white embossing.
All I see is shadow. The shadow of the heat tool. Just whilst we're watching you, we can say hi to Love to Create LC. He says, hi Ben, Craig and team. Such stunning samples. I'm loving the folders. Pat says, loving the samples. Sheena's team, extremely talented. Absolutely. You're going to have so much fun with these folders. get them whilst you can. That Showstopper is still available, but the majority of people are either going for the Showstopper or just buying the individual embossing folders. So that is definitely the way to go. For an extra £4 or $4, you can have all of the extra goodies, pens, ink pads, more embossing folders, all there for you. So get that in your basket. We do not have many left at all. We've literally sold like another 10 in the last 5 minutes, so they're going very quickly. We will soon be down to double figures on this. I'll let you know when.
I don't think it'll be long before that happens.
I don't think it will be. It's a great price as well for everything today. It's incredible value.
But do you know something? If that was a price for 2D embossing folders, I would think that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But then it's because it's 3D with dies. So trust me, it's there. Right. Just because you're tutting in my ear, not believing me.
I'm coming over.
You look. And I'll do it again, but I'll do it in a different colour embossing powder so you can see.
Yeah, I can see that.
See what I mean?
Yeah, you guys. Don't you worry about them. Don't you worry about that.
Usually you taking the mick out of me.
No, not today. Not today.
Right, so
That's brilliant.
let me just, now I'm doing this so that, let's do this just so that you can see.
You smell really nice today.
Thank you.
Is that a new fragrance you've got on?
Yeah, it's called Tester.
That's my gag from the panto.
Is it? Well, I didn't see your panto.
I know, that's so weird. That was one of my first gags in the panto.
Is it? No,
It 100%, because I was obviously dressed as and one of my first lines was, the ladies came out, my stylist, I said, I'm just going to have a new spray of my new fragrance. Got it from Boots. It's called Tester. I got a big laugh. Hey?
Nicola went to see the panto and doesn't remember that.
It was one of my opening lines. And all the girls came out with the hair dryers and stuff. That's brilliant, that.
So just to show, as I said, let's do it. I'm going to do this within darker embossing powder, just so that you can actually see that it does stick. Because I want that glisten, I want that, the fish that under the sea, that sort of feel to it, just within the white and the clear. Let me pop that back. Thank you very much. And then let's go in. So if I sprinkle this.
Where did that come from then? Was that from your bag?
My bag, yeah.
Oh, right.
Look.
Yeah. Ha!
See?
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 You lot.
You lot. Let me get a brush.
Jimmy.
See you, Jimmy. So if I get a little brush, just to take any of this extra, you could use an anti-static bag to start with if you want to, but if I take that off here, so go over with your anti-static bag before you pop your watermark ink pad on. Now I'm not going to heat this, I'm only doing it just so you can show that the white has actually stuck to the white card, but see, it does. I know you can't quite see that shimmer and shine off the back, but it is there. So
Well, I can see it, and that's the main thing.
Well, at least you can vouch for me.
Yeah, I can.
You can vouch.
You naysayers.
I could have had you doing this, couldn't I?
You could. I'll do it later.
You do it later on. Yes, you will need to do it later on. So let's come back in with this one, and then let me trim that, because this one with the Balance and Tranquility has got, do you know, actually, it's just come to me. Do you know what it looks like? Ben, come back. Come back. Jack.
Awesome folders, says Crafty Angie. Don says, you two crack me up.
Jack, come back. Jack. I won't let you go. And then let you go in the water.
Yeah, we'll move over on the bit of wood then. Let me get on.
Remember, you know when you used to go to like the carnival or that?
Yeah.
And they had the little squares of coloured paper and you used to tear off and it was a number. And if you had that number...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Like the perforation bit.
Yeah,
you go round the outside, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if you can see that, Jamie. So I'm referring to a way round the edges here. So it's not like a solid rectangled line.
What was that for? Was that when you in the number corresponded to a prize?
Yeah, or if you got an odd number.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're at the carnival or the fair or something like that, and you would get, yes, you're looking at it right round the edge, right round the edge there.
Yeah.
If you then, of course, if you got an odd number or something, you win that prize.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like that kind. It's not even like perforated, was it? It was kind of like it had been embossed into each other.
Yeah.
And you just had to tear it off. Anyway, that's what I
Feel like on the
at.
days in the carnival where you used to win goldfishes
And you win
in
the
bags.
goldfish, exactly.
We had a goldfish. We called it Goldie.
Right, original.
And we put it in like a goldfish bowl and we got it back, and then it got really, really big. And my mum built a pond in our garden, and we thought, well, we'll put it in the pond. And well, to my knowledge, it lived to about 20 years of age, and it got absolutely massive in this pond. This like tiny little goldfish. I think it got took by a seagull in the end. It's quite sad, isn't it, really? But it got absolutely massive, this goldfish, because they only live for like about a year, don't they, normally?
Yeah, but they keep growing, don't they, depending on their environment. Yeah.
So he got too big for his bowl. We chucked him in the pond, and he lived for about 20 years.
It got too big for its bowl. You get too big for your boots.
Exactly right. Yeah, wait till I get carried off by a seagull. I'll go back in my place now.
Yeah, you do that. I'll carry on.
Yeah, you do that.
So I'm going to go in with the dies now. So we're going to die cut these ones out. So we're going to run them ones through. Now, at first glance, they look like they're exactly the same, and they're not. They are different. So these now, you can emboss. So this is what I was meaning earlier on, Ben, that if you were to then emboss first, and then go in, pop the die over the top and die cut it, you'll squash a lot of the detail.
Yeah.
So always do the die cut first before you come along and do the embossing. And then the premise is exactly the same. The only difference, instead of a rectangle piece of cardstock, you're just going in and embossing the actual die cut. So we're just having a look. I think there's that one. Is that one there. Now, you can do them both at the exact same time. You can absolutely do that. For me, I prefer to do one at a time, only because I prefer, Ben, to layer them up this way.
Oh, so it's not like you're worried they might slip or something?
No,
like
it's nothing to do with that.
No.
Nothing about them slipping. It's just that I prefer to go in and follow the outer edge of the actual embossing folder and line up with my cardstock.
And I guess it almost feels like it does like slot into place into the emboss, right? So it's quite easy to do.
It's very easy to do, yeah. Really, really easy. And then I'm going to go in with my frosted and then my magnetic. So let's just run that one through here. And we're going to run that one through. Now, keeping in mind, I am keeping it very, very, very simple with this form before we bring in our inks. We're going to do vellum just shortly as well. It looks fab on vellum because it gives you like a white work look. So we can then open this one. So you can see now within one of them, just here. And then we've got the detail. So that, for me, visually, it's like a clay mould. That white clay mould, and you've then, of course...
I thought you said a claymore then for a second.
You in wrestling, you never
stop going on about it.
You never, ever, ever stop talking about wrestling, do you?
They didn't get the gag. Did you see what was on his cup? Oh. Oh, dear. Has he got the... I didn't notice. Have you got the watch on today as well? Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I've not.
I love that. He actually put his... Where's it gone? Has it fallen off?
No, I wouldn't have fallen off, but... Oh, no.
Oh. He's actually thinking about what he's done.
I am, sorry, yeah. I am. I'm trying to think...
Have you taken it off because you were washing the dishes
no,
or something?
I've not... No, I don't think I put it on this morning. Oh. I put it on a specific place at night time, but I always, it's always above where my shoes not, so I always automatically
grab it.
So, yeah.
Have you got your WWE belt on today?
No, not my belt. No, because it's not often, a lot of people like to say this, but I've been putting on a little bit of weight lately, which for me is a good thing. So, yes, I don't need to wear belts at the moment for my trousers, yes. So, yeah, it's not often you hear people say that, yeah, I'm putting on weight. There you go. So,
Yes.
individually, Ben, you've got the two fishes. So if I pop them to the side just here, and then that one, what I've done, although can't see it really well, but you guys can do it at home. What we've got is away into that background, thinking about your watermark ink pad that we've used, but doing that letterpress. And we'll do another letterpress technique in the next demo where you'll see what it looks like. But look at that one there, just on white card, no letterpress. And if I bring these in here, and if I keep it really, really simple, because what I'm wanting to do is do it, or have my demos in stages, Ben.
Yeah.
So you can do them in the most simplest of clean cut form. For instance, the white work. This one here, I've got a little piece of our Centura Pearl with a hint of silver. Adding those layers on. And the reason I've done that is because this is white cardstock. What I want to do is break it up. If I go straight onto there, still works, but you lose it slightly.
Yeah.
Now, if I put that onto a layer of white card and onto there, you still lose it slightly. Whereas if I break that up with a little bit of Centura Pearl, then what happens is it then just elevates it that little bit more. Made it onto a 5x7 card, and I'm going to go round the edges here with my tape runner. At home, when I have more time, I use my tacky glue, simply because you've got lots and lots of peaks and troughs in here. So to enable the glue to soak into all of the debossed and raised detail, I can pop that in. So even that on its own with a sentiment, but then if I bring these ones in and just layer these up with my foam pads,
Yeah.
we can see there is a really simple way. It's an elegant card. Adding that layer of the Centura Pearl just makes it that little bit more classy, because white on white is a classy look. It works really well. We're just layering that straight over the top. Really, really, lost my train of thought there. What was the way to say it? That's not your fault, Nick. Nicola's thinking that she actually caused me to lose my train of thought.
So she's just saying she loves the shadow effect that it creates, like the white on white, when you've like raised it up on the pads.
When you're doing white on white, when you use your foam pads or glue gel, it gives you a natural shadow.
Yeah.
It's naturally shadow is created. So if I move that
Where is shadow?
ever so slightly
There in the big blue house.
into there, there we go. So pure white on white, you can then come along with your sentiments if you want to, but purposely keeping it simple to start with, Ben, to show you. Let's press that down a little bit
It's
more.
incredible, like how brilliant that looks without the addition of any
And that's why I wanted
colour.
to do it, yeah. Because we could do colouring, we can do embossing, we can do letterpressing, we can do all of that, which we are going to. However, in that most simplest form, really shows the detail that Sheena's put into these ones here, elevating them by doing that natural drop shadow that foam pads or glue gel will give you. Depending on the depth, doesn't really matter, you're still going to get a really nice drop shadow. All you need is a sentiment, and that is it for you to then, of course, create the card.
I will take you all around the Showstopper. The Showstopper, by the way, we are almost at 40% now of the Showstopper gone. It is very, very busy. I'll take you all around that. A few quick comments coming through. Lots of love for that demo. Laurie says, good morning, boys. Weather here in St. Helens, Michigan is a crazy, snowy and freezing day. High is going to be 57F. That sounds very low, if you're asking me. Stay warm. Good morning, all of my crafty peeps. I love it, says Laurie, when the boys are together. We always have a bit of fun, don't we? We always have a bit of fun. Very nice, Craig, says Trudy. And I'm going to blame, says M, the fact that I'm under the weather, but I've ordered the Showstopper, not realising that there were dies with the folders. Well, there you go. You've got a nice little extra surprise there, haven't you? Great to see all the materials in action, says Stephanie. And on the subject of goldfish, we talk about everything here, don't we? Ash said, that happened to me too, Ben. Oh, the goldfish from the bowl to the pond. Yeah, you say the goldfish became enormous. You see?
Yeah.
Not just me. Did your goldfish, though, live till it was about 20? And then was it snatched by a seagull? So that happens down my neck of the woods, you see, back down in Devon. Them blooming seagulls. Jeffrey says, I don't know this one. Jeffrey says, goldfish, my favourite, reminds me of the movie Airbender.
Airbender?
Anyone seen that or heard that?
No.
I assume that's about fish.
See, you say goldfish, and I just think of Mr. Bean. Mind the baby, Mr. Bean, when he goes to the fun fair and he ends up having to mind the baby.
Yeah.
And he plays the game of bingo and he wins the fish, but he's put the fish in the mouth.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
the bag was leaking and he swallows it. Goes, bingo.
What does he say?
Bingo. Teddy. Teddy.
What was the song we were watching on that episode that time? Oh, yeah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yeah.
And Gillian says, I won a goldfish from the fair when I was a child. Mine was called Goldie too. I bet a lot of the goldfish from the fair were called Goldie. Mine only lasted a few months though. Very nice, says Trudy. And Kim says, good morning from New York. I'm loving the embossing folders. Let me show you them. So these are available as individuals. If you want to get these individually, you can. However, the majority of people, as you will know from the fact that we are 40% of the stock gone on the Showstopper, are buying the Showstopper. So you've got your beautiful Tree of Life. 3D embossing folder. It is 4x6 in size for those of you that are asking. And then obviously this is the die component here. So you know, there's loads of different ways to use it. If you just want to do a beautiful deep 3D emboss with the tree, you can do that. If you just want the die cut and then emboss that on its own, you can. But of course, as you've seen Craig do, you can then layer that up over the top of the embossing folder to create a really unique look. So that one's called the Tree of Life if you want to go for that individually. A lot of people absolutely loving this one here, which is your Balance and Tranquility. So again, you've got that beautiful 3D embossing folder in the 4x6 size, and then you've got those dies there, once again, that you can cut out, place into your folder, create the emboss on the die cut. Again, use it all together to do what Craig's just done, or use those separate of each other. It's entirely up to you. Now, those two together in a bundle, £20 or 24 bucks. I would say to you, don't buy that. What I would say is spend an extra £4 or $4 and buy this, because that will get you the two new die and embossing folder sets that I've shown you, and for an extra £4 or $4, you're going to get your tricolour brush marker. So that is your reflective pool, alcohol based of course, and you've got those three beautiful ombre colours. You're going to get the tricolour aqua, so water based. That one is your beautiful Garden Majesty. 3 different colours again. Once again, you can activate that with the water to get all the different gradients of colour and mix the colours up to create different colours. You're also going to get one of our shimmer ink pads as well. So that's one of the original shimmer ink pads, if you like, with the pearlescent silver shimmer in the evergreen. And then you get on top of that the 8-piece vintage corner collection, 5x7 die set. You're also going to get your Thankful stamp and die set from the Thanksgiving collection, and then you're getting a 10-piece sentiment set, which is called the Written in Feathers. All of that there, so those two items, that, and that, an extra £4 or $4. And, you know, we can talk about kind of individual cost of items. That vintage corner on its own, $16.99. So the fact that you're getting all of that extra for £4 or $4 is the main reason why the Showstopper is going as quickly as it is, because people are going, well, actually, I love the embossing folders. I'm just going to pay an extra £4 and get the Showstopper and get all of that extra goodies for that amazing price. If you do just want to go for those individually, of course, as well, you've got the ability to be able to do that. It's all there for you on the shop the day. Probably the best place to go, because there's various elements from Beautiful Beginnings later on as well, which you want to pick up alongside the new launch, which will work really nicely with those embossing folders. Keep the comments coming through. Anything else that you want to ask, anything else that you want to see, feel free to ask. As I say, I know Craig's got loads and loads of demos planned for you over the course of the next hour or so, but if you want to see something, please shout up and ask. We are going to take a short break, get yourself to the checkouts, and we'll meet you back here in just around about 4 minutes' time.
What I love most about Crafters TV is the community.
Crafters TV brings everyone together from different corners of the world.
It also connects you with people from all over the world.
You guys have been there for me. I feel like you guys are my family.
I feel like I'm crafting along with my friends.
I met some of my best friends for life from Crafters TV, so thank you very much.
When you're having a tough time, you can switch on Crafters TV and you can go on the live chat, and you know people will be there for you as well.
And there's so much support, respect, and inspiration all through the socials.
It's a place where we can all share our love for Crafters Companion, ideas, and get inspiration from each other.
So what's not to love about Crafters TV? So go make a coffee and pull up a chair. Let's all get crafting. I'll see you all there.
Pokey tools and paper pads, gilding wax and stamping mats, scissors, glitter, builder blocks, faux snow fabric, rocker blocks, Bria's misters, quilting clips, and die brush tools, precision snips, finger daubers, acetates, stencils, glue guns, and templates. Gemini Pro, Julia, and the OG. Gemini Go, Mini, and the MIDI. And brush pens, aqua pens, and aqua blends, illustrators, classics, and dry blends, and color blends, and glitter pens, and sparkle pens, outliner pens. Fine tip glue applicators, envelopes, creators, stamping platforms, boxer boards, the big score and scoreboard, Nina card and craft card, glitter card, matte black card, graphics, wadding and adhesive sheets, glass mats, guillotines and pen trays, ball tool, die stamps, ink trays, mitre tools and binding tools and tote bags, USBs, bone folders and punches, low-tack tape, paint brushes, stamens, mountboard, flower forming foam, outline markers, DVDs, spelled quick writing pads and CDs, gilding flakes and washi tape, tacky glue, red liner tape, craft ice, full press, sparkle pots, Centura, pearl and sticky dots, pigment, ink pads, chunky glue, body bags, all-purpose glue, embossing folders, blending tools, storage folders, much more too. Water Reactive Inkpads, body bags, craft magnets, year of craft and glue, stick and spray and stick away, dotty tape and split pens, acrylic paint pens, tape pens, watercolor card, rotary cutters, magazines and stamping card, ultimate Pro and the rotating design board, ultimate first compendium, Sarah signature collections, and don't forget discovery kits. Oh, and there's foam pads, think that's it. One final thing, foam on a roll, foam on a roll.
Right guys, now, been getting a lot of love from everybody since the start of the new year, but I just feel like there is even more we could give our viewers.
But we already give them entertaining shows, amazing offers, brilliant demos, and in-depth craft-alongs. What more can we do?
Yes, but I still think we could give them more.
For Sarah, we're already live 3 shows a day, 5 days a week. I mean, what else are you thinking?
You're right. It looks like we might have to make it Saturdays.
That's right, join me over the next few Saturdays as we sit down, chat, craft and create live from the studio, giving you even more opportunities to watch and join in.
Want to catch some amazing deals at the weekend? Make it Saturday.
Want your chance to win some amazing prizes? Make it Saturday.
To virtually join us live and show us your makes? Make it Saturday.
Want to have a chance for your craft problems in our crafty clinic? Make it Saturday. Want to vote for your favourite demo of the week? Make it Saturday.
So don't miss out on our brand new show, Make It Saturday, where the weekend comes to life.
Make it Saturdays. Hey, make it Saturday this Saturday, because this Saturday, I'm coming in.
God. You're coming in?
Yep.
Saturday's a weekend, you know?
Yeah.
Sarah must be in, is she?
Yeah. But here's the thing. Nah. Here's the thing.
Batman.
Nah. Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
No, I was booked in before Sarah because it's a weekend that George can't do. So I don't know why Sarah's coming in. I mean, if Sarah's watching, I'm obviously very pleased, boss, that you are coming in. It's not like, why is Sarah coming in? I think it's just a coincidence, Craig. I think that's just a coincidence.
I disagree, but...
Do you? Well, all I can tell you is that I was here first. I was booked in first. All right? So, Sarah's obviously just a copycat, yeah? Get your own ideas. God.
Well, I was originally meant to be in with Sarah this Saturday.
Really?
I've had my schedule for 3 weeks. So from day one, my schedule was Sarah / Craig.
For Saturday?
Then, for Saturday. Then it changed to Sarah and Lily. And then, I'm being serious. And then I was meant to do the second half of Make It Saturday.
Ah. But now it's just me and Sarah.
Yeah.
It's changed again. It's also confusing. Few quick comments and then we'll get on to it. Make sure you make it Saturday, yeah? And make it Sunday as well. I mean, that's not a show, but make it on Sunday to Second Chance Sunday, because that's also a very, very popular show, yeah? 5 o'clock on a Sunday. The time for that, by the way, will change next weekend because it's a bit of ahead of time. Our clocks go forward, not this coming weekend, but the weekend after.
Mother's Day, UK.
Yeah, Mother's Day, UK weekend. But still, make sure you make it Saturday. Sarah says, hello again, Crafty Friends and CTV family. 3D folders in my cart and shopping the soft craft sale. Nice one. Excited to get my knitting purchases from yesterday as well. Sarah, some brilliant deals yesterday, right? And we're all going to be like the new knitting crew now, making our own scarves and hats and all sorts. Back for round 2 of Crafty Fun, says Rosalind. Hello, Rosalind. And Zoe Carver says, I also won a goldfish at the fair as a kid. It got too big for my tank, so went to live in my uncle's pond. Now I have tropical fish and a small pond with goldfish in. I used to love goldfish as a kid. We used to have, I can't remember the name of them. We used to have these like black fish with like big eyes that would like pop out the sides of their heads. What were they called? And we also used to have ones, I think they were just called like neon fish, that had like the sort of like a go faster stripe on them. Teeny tiny little fish. They had like a go faster stripe on them. And they were so cool. Were they called guppies?
Guppies, wasn't there?
I think it was guppies we used to have. I used to love fish. So did my cat, unfortunately. Used to catch her there, like in my bedroom. Like if you leave the door open, you'd see my cat there, just like over the top with the paw going in to try and fish the fish out. Seriously. A neon tetra. That's what I had. Did you have fish when you were little?
Just goldfish. But then when my stepdad and mum had been together for a few years and he moved in, John had a tank.
Like an aquarium?
That's it. Yeah. Lots of different fish.
Yeah, you get like the big ones, don't you, with the pump and all sorts, and you'd have like the little bits and pieces of them to fish through. Anyway, Wendy says, I had a goldfish from the fair. His bowl cracked, so my dad put it in with his tropical fish, and years later the tank overheated, and the goldfish was the only one who survived. And Don says, having to watch and learn as much as possible as I start my new job in a few weeks and I won't be able to watch live. Well, that is sad, Don. However, you can always come back and watch the shows. But let's get on with some more learning now, because if you're going to start work and not be watching as much, let's get the learning in. What are you going to be crafting with next?
So we're going to use I was about to say the learning tree.
Yeah, right.
Learning tree.
Chris Jericho?
Yeah.
Carl, you always talk about wrestling.
No, it was just the way that you said learning, and then I just seen the tree and I thought learning tree. What is it called again?
It is called the learning tree, isn't it?
Tree of life.
Oh, tree of life. We're going to call it the learning tree from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh right, sorry.
Yeah. What?
It was just you sat out the boards. You sat out the boards, and I think you were ready to show the boards.
I've already done that before the break. I was looking at the name of them because it's written on the back, so I should have known. Tree of life, not learning tree.
I thought you got them out because you were ready to do a recap.
No.
Yes, so tree of life.
We're very professional normally. Charlotte, who's watching in the gallery, it normally goes a lot better than this. It's very, very good, normally very seamless. A lot of people talk about how professional we are, especially me and Craig. You know, we're very, go back and forth, never anything like that normally.
Tree of life. So we've got our folder here, and I've got some black cardstock. Now I've trimmed it to a little bit smaller than 4x6, and we're going to pop that one into place like so. So same concept where we're going to go in with our base plate, magnetic, and then frosted shim. And then what we're going to do is we're just then going to run that one through. What I'll do at the same time, i.e. off the back of this, is we'll die cut out the tree of life, and we will then also emboss that too. So even on black cardstock, I know obviously like white, it's hard to see at first, but when we come with the Gilding Wax, you will see how well that it looks. So we're going to go in and we're going to then die cut. So let's pop the die in, and then we're going to die cut it as normal. Now what I'm actually going to do, Ben, is I'm going to take out the magnetic shim because they're quite simplistic shape dies. So you don't need all of that extra pressure. If you find it's not quite cut, run it through again with the shim, but you'll find it's absolutely fine. So let's take that one away, take that out. Always look at your waste, because what you can do is you can then use it for stencils and masking, etc. So now what we're doing is we're going to do exactly the same. So let's bring in our die cut. You can either lever it over the top, or we can go underneath. I'm not going to put it over black because then you won't see it that well. So I'm going to turn that one around. Let's do it onto a bit of white here. So if I then work and move that into position, and all that I'm doing with the Tree of Life, I'm just following the outer edge of the card, but also the design.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to close that shut. Then we're going to bring in our plate. And again, we're going to go in with our magnetic and then our frosted shim. Feed that one through. If you're using the MIDI, because these will all go through the MIDI, what I would suggest, do what Sarah done yesterday, add an additional shim.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but if you really want that detail, the detail's there. So to encapsulate that detail, pop in that extra little shim, and then we're going to be left with the detail. So I'm not going to go close up at the moment, it's pointless because of course it's black card, but if I then bring both of these bits in, and I'm going to go in, Ben, with the Renaissance Gold, so it's got that real vintage.
Empire and Renaissance are in stock.
They're the ones in stock.
25% off today.
Excellent.
Excellent.
And this is where, and this is my actual one, and I've had it for a good number of years, and I've still got loads.
I'm sure it's the fish who says she's still got one of the original pots of gilding wax that she bought, like, I'm sure she says about 7 years ago.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me, Ben.
Because it's a minuscule amount you need, isn't it?
It's tiny, tiny, tiny. Now, of course, you'll need a little bit to cover this, but still, the amount that's on your finger is tiny, and overall, the amount that's actually going to be going on is also tiny. So I'm not going to do the whole lot because I've got one already done, but I want to do kind of like half of it so you can see the detail within the Gilding Wax. So I keep going back little and often, and what I love about 3D folders and Gilding Wax
that coming to life
is because there's so much depth, it comes to life.
Yeah.
Quite literally comes to life. You can go heavier handed in some areas, which means the really, really standout detail of the embossing folder is going to capture the wax. And then you've got the middle layer, base layer. As I say, it's roughly, I think I counted like 5 or 6 layers, or detailed layers within this folder. So the further away layers, you're going to capture just a little bit of the wax, and the top layers, you're going to really, really capture the strong colour of the wax. So if I leave that half for now,
yeah.
I mean, look,
wow,
that, absolutely fab. So let me take a little bit of kitchen roll, because I want to give that a buff off. So if I take my kitchen roll, or at home, Ben, I tend to use just like a microfiber cloth.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Buff it off, that you'll then get that real nice sheen from the Renaissance Gold.
Incredible.
And then if you do it all, and then just matte and layer that onto white.
That literally does just look like a piece of metal.
It does, doesn't it? It's exactly what it looks like. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do exactly the same, but what we're doing is we're just going to go in and we're doing it on the actual die cut tree. And you can do it on your glass mat. The only reason I'm doing it on my craft mat, Ben, is so it's quicker to tidy up afterwards. I can move this to the side and clean it later.
Loads of fish chat coming in. So he says, when I was young, when I went on holiday and my big sister stayed at home, one morning she stood on what she thought was Weetabix, barefoot. It was a goldfish.
Say that again.
I'm assuming this was a goldfish that you had that had jumped out of the tank or something, not just like
it was called Weetabix.
No, she says, we were on holiday and my big sister stayed at home. One morning she stood on what she thought was Weetabix.
Oh, okay.
Barefoot. It was a goldfish.
Ah.
Well, a Weetabix that had been in milk would probably feel, a milky Weetabix would feel, not that I would ever know, not that I'm an expert, by the way, in standing in different things barefoot, but a milky Weetabix would probably, anyway, that's a strange one. She also says, I have hundreds of guppies, they won't stop breeding. I also have mollies and Cory catfish. I've got a molly.
You do indeed, but
Just
different
the one.
molly, isn't it?
It's a different type, yeah. And Em said, we had guppies and other fish, and the guppies would jump out of the tank, and we would have to rush to put them back in.
Okay.
Yeah. Wendy says, we had a shark fish, and my dad was cleaning the tank, and he told me to watch it didn't jump out, and it did, and it was flipping all over the floor. I love these stories. Just back on topic for a second, Carol says, do you thin your gilding wax any? Mine seems to be a lot drier than what you are working with. Might that be a case of it's been left open or something?
I think that's certainly the case, yeah. Yeah, there should be no need for you to thin it.
Thin it.
You shouldn't have to. I can't remember if there is a way, if that happens, I can't remember if Leanne said there is a way to kind of rejuvenate it again. I've got a funny feeling that if that happens, there's no going back. So all I could recommend is just make sure when you're not using it that the lid is back on tight.
Nice and tight, yeah.
And then again, there's just one half. So that individual tree we've got. But then if we bring in that one.
Oh, yeah.
And really start to intensify. And that intensive look on some of the layers is because you've got multiple depth.
Mm-hmm.
You can go really quite strong on the top layers. And the thing is, you don't have to think about it. When I'm saying top, you don't have to think, right, what's top, what's middle, what's base. Same pressure the whole time, but you just keep building and building, and those top layers are going to capture the actual, the wax themselves. So then all that we need to do, I've gone in with some of my copper Centura Pearl, simple black matten layer. And then if I add this on, bringing in that white layer that you've seen that I've popped mine onto, frames it really, really well, brings it in from the card blank, which is 5x7. And then if we go in and take foam pads, you can use your glue gel if you want to, but going in, adding that depth, of course that's the whole premise and purpose of the collection, is the actual depth that you're going to get within the folder once you've die cut it. And if I pop this one into play, and play around, if you want to do a kind of natural drop shadow, you can do, or because you've embossed the die cut from that same folder, it matches bang over the top. Press that down, and then if I bring that one in, it looks at first glance, straight on, it looks like one full embossed layer.
Yeah.
But then when you start to turn it, and you actually see it's not, it's a double layer. And then for me, you know, I love fussy cutting. What about doing that again, but then just fussy cut out the central part of the tree?
I love that idea, yeah.
And then just layer that up. Now, don't emboss the whole lot, wax the whole lot, and then fussy cut it. I would just then, of course, die cut that little section, or emboss that little section, and then fussy cut. So again, no sentiment. You could pop the sentiment. It's going from one extreme to the other when it comes to plain white work, black work with the Gilding Wax, and then in the next half of the show, we're going to go bright with colour. We'll show you the white work when it comes to vellums as well, and hopefully we'll get a third one in too.
45% of the Showstopper's gone now. It's really busy, really busy. I think it's one of those launches again, which is nicely priced, isn't it? I can understand on the days where, you know, it might be like a new Sarah signature and you're looking at over £100 where you might sort of pick and choose. But this really is a launch which I think, you know, hopefully fits everybody's pocket. There's options for you, 3 options realistically, but actually I would say to you, probably only 2 options, because if you want to go individually, you can, right? So you can pick up either the, I nearly called it the learning tree there, the Tree of Life, I've got it even written there.
I love it.
That you can go for individually as you can the fish. There is an option, as I said, well, it's on the screen now, right? But I would almost disregard that because £20 or 28 bucks, it's fine, right? If we didn't have the offer of a Showstopper, then, I mean, and we won't have the offer of a Showstopper very soon, actually, because it is very busy. So this will be the option that you'll have eventually. But what I would say is just hang fire a second. You can get the Tree of Life, 3D embossing folder, 6x4 in size, and of course that die, Craig's just showing you how to use all elements of that just there. So you've got that in the bundle alongside your Balance Tranquility, which are those beautiful fish, of course, the dies, and then that embossing folder as well. That's £20 or 28 bucks. Fine, brilliant. If there wasn't a Showstopper option, I would say dive in, grab it, excellent. However, there is a Showstopper option, and just for an extra, if you're platinum, £4 or $4, you get the brand new folders with dies, and then you get all, so essentially you're getting all of these other goodies for £4 or $4, which is incredible when you consider, I mean, that set alone with the dies there, the vintage corners, that is worth $16.99. So there's insane value right there, even if we were saying, oh, you're just getting that, but you're not. You're getting the 8-piece corner set. You're also going to be getting 2 pens, so one of our tricolour brush markers, which is that beautiful reflective pool. You are going to get the 3 colours within that pen, beautiful ombre layers. You're getting, of course, 3 colours in the tricolour aqua as well. Once again, water soluble, so you can take your water to those pens and draw out the colour, get the gradients of all of the 3 different colours that you've got within that pen. So yes, 2 pens, but essentially 6 different colours, loads more colours within the aqua as well. Then you've got your shimmer ink pad, that is the evergreen with the beautiful pearlescent pigment. And again, all of this for £4, which is just amazing value for money. Thankful, so that's a beautiful stamp and die set 3-piece selection. And then you've also got the written in feathers, which is a set of 10 sentiment stamps, all in that bundle for an extra £4 or $4. So that's why I'm saying, I think for the extra 4, you should almost just disregard the other bundle where you can get the 2 on their own. Because why would you leave all of that behind for £4 or $4 more? If you just want the individuals, of course, you've got that option available as well. But 45% of the Showstopper's gone, so you do need to get your skates on just a little bit. Must say hi to Trudy, who says Gilding Wax is my new favourite. We'll be delving into that more, looking at more that in Beautiful Beginnings later on as well. Angie Craft says, hi Craig and Ben, I am watching from a lovely sunny Chesterfield and I'm loving these embossing folders. Have you got them yet though? That's the question. Kathy says, good morning, Hottie Scotty, and of course, Lord Ben and the CC team. Hello. Hello to Carol, who says, oh, good idea on the craft mat instead of the glass mat. Yeah, loads of great tips. And Rhonda says, I really like the tree using the gilding wax. Wendy says, it is beautiful, Craig. Thank you. And Pamela Green says, the cards look so sophisticated, Craig. Sophisticated.
Thank
Surely
you.
You mean sophish. We are just over halfway through the show. Aren't we having a great time, everybody? Beautiful Beginnings coming up later on tonight, live at 5, so hopefully you'll be with us for that. More embossing on that show, but we've also got the Majestic Unicorn collection, 3D partial embossing folders, shimmer sprays, loads of goodies on there actually, and a really good deal on our aqua markers as well, so plenty to tune in for later, alongside Essentials Corner as well, so your opportunity to fire in those questions, any crafty conundrums. Yes, it's more a sort of embossing folder, embossing led show, but anything you're stuck on, questions about glues are always very popular, the different pens, ink pads, different papers and card that we've got. Get them all in and we'll make that nice and interactive tonight from 5. But let's get back to it. Craig looks like he's having a bit of fun over there. He's got a whole host of ink pads out and he's got his blending sponges at the ready as well. What are you going to be showing us next?
So we're going to go bright with this one. So maybe you don't necessarily want to colour within this one. Maybe you don't quite have the confidence to colour when it comes to this one, but you want that brightness. What we're going to do is we're going to bring in our cardstock. Now, before we do any embossing or that, we're going to ink it up. Now, in front of me, I've got my Fuchsia, Spring Meadow, Lemon Tonic, and Oasis. My Water Reactive.
Can you just go back a minute? What was the first
So you
one?
want me to go back to the Fuchsia? Yeah?
Yeah,
we
if you
can
can.
do that. You can go back to the Fuchsia. Then what we're going to do is I've taken my little egg blending tools.
Yes.
You can, if you want, use your square or circle blending tools. What I've been doing for this technique, Ben, is either our finger dauber or the egg blending tool, because I kind of want it really, really strong, but I want it in set positions. I don't want it blended in set positions. I want it kind of like in its own individual set, like I'm doing right now.
Right.
So I'm just going to then start to then dab that one on. Whereas, you know, I'm a big fan of my square blending tools.
Yeah, I was going to say, I want to say this is one of the first times I've ever seen you use the egg sponges.
I very rarely do I use them because I use my square blending tool.
It's a rectangle.
But something like this, exactly, yeah, being a rectangle. But being like this in a specific area, it'll take a bit while to build up that colour because you'll need to keep building and building and building by going to the ink pad. Whereas the finger daubers, although great for your pigment ink pads, the finger daubers or, of course, your egg sponges are great because you really do get that strong colour straight away from the sponge into your cardstock.
Great that we've got so much choice though when it comes to layering your ink down there, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. If you're wanting a smooth build-up of colour, blending tools or the brushes are great to go to. But then, of course, we've still got other ones that you can go to, and that's exactly, of course, what I'm doing now. And if you are new to us, or certainly new to watching myself, and you're wondering why you can't see my ink pads, it's because I run them across the top of my glass mat.
Yeah.
So therefore, I don't have to chase them about. Otherwise, I'm like that moving.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I know we do our non-stick pad, or we have done our non-stick pads. If I have them on my glass mat, what I'm doing is I'm just pulling the ink onto my blending application, and then you're not going to have to worry about chasing. So I'm just going to say that one's a yellow. Let's see if this one will do. No.
Debbie Robinson's favourite, the egg sponges, actually.
Is it? Does she love?
She finds them a lot easier to use and a lot easier to hold than the blending tools.
It's because the whole lot is a sponge. It's a really nice sponge. And then therefore, as I was saying before, you can, if you want, you can go really light, and you can see now, as Jamie's just shown you, that's exactly what I'm doing here. So it stops me having to chase my actual ink pads. So that's just what I like to do.
I'm really enjoying the colour combos here.
Yeah, really bright.
Very bright and vibrant.
It's just because we will do, the next demo will be, if you're going to be watching in real time, we'll do and play with vellums, and then we'll also do some colouring, but maybe you don't want to actually spend time colouring with your pens, but you want that blast off colour, then just go in. But don't worry and think, oh no, not for me, too bright. Don't worry, because we will dull it down slightly with seal brown. So we'll still get colour, but we'll sort of vintify it. Vintagify. That's what I was trying to say. Or we could vintify it.
I like that.
But I was really going for vintagify. New word there.
Vintagify.
Vintagify. So let's go in, and then I'm going to go and then fill in.
Is there any method about exactly where you're putting the different colours and stuff here? Are you being quite precise where the different colours go, or not really?
I'm trying to not have the two same colours together.
Right.
That's the only difference, or the only thing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So if I need to infill, I'm just trying to not have any same colour together. Okay. So let's go in with that one, into here. And then
I feel like now the colours are sort of blending together. Remember, you used to look at under the microscope at cells and stuff.
In
biology.
Yeah, you're right.
Of that.
Yeah, you're right. It does look like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does indeed. Or, you know, years ago when it was, you had to zoom in with your eyes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And an image would appear.
Yeah.
It could be like that as well.
Hi to Pamela, who's joined us. Carolyn Cooey says, good morning, Craig, Ben, and the CTV crew. Who did you say it was, Nicola? Oh, Zoe Carver said it. She's getting Mr. Blobby vibes.
Blobby, yeah.
Blobby.
Oh, gosh. Good old Blobby.
Good old Blobby. Yeah, just like Craig and Blobby. They're good pals, actually.
Pals.
Yeah. He's retired to Craig's village, actually, Mr. Blobby. It's where he lives now, yeah. Craig and Mr. Blobby in the one village. It's a very celeb-filled place.
BFFs.
Yeah, BFFs. Did Mr. Blobby ever make it to the US chums? Let me know. If he did, you'd know all about him. Blobby!
Blobby friends forever.
Blobby friends forever, BFF.
That's us.
Yeah.
That is us. So I've done one, and I've started another one, so let's carry on and do exactly the same. And I'm just going to use the same colours, Ben.
Yeah.
Exactly the same colours that I've done before. This is definitely light blobby, this one, now that I've gone.
Zoe's just sent through all the comments, Blobby, oh Mr. Blobby. He got to number 1, didn't he?
He did indeed.
Mr. Blobby.
It's a shame that I can't sing
I
the
don't
other
know, I
version.
don't know any more, but I just remember that
Yeah,
bit.
there's a rude version.
Is there?
Yeah, yeah.
What, an actual rude version or a rude version that you've made up?
I'm not sure if... No, I didn't make it up.
Ah.
No, I definitely didn't make it up. But yeah. Rhymes with blobby. Now you're thinking, aren't you? Toilet talk.
Ah, okay. I just remember it was around the time there's loads of like random tunes getting to number 1. Like Mr. Blobby got to the number 1 of the charts, and then Bob the Builder got
And then
to
the
number 1.
Smurfs. Do you remember the Smurfs?
Oh, the Smurfs.
When they like, there would be a chart song, and they'd come out with their own Smurf version.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? Like
the Chipmunks as well.
Mambo number 5, but it was like
Yeah.
Smurfs number 5 or something like that, and they'd have their own take on it.
Oh, they don't make songs like they used to, do they?
No, they definitely
It's
don't.
like when The Simpsons released an album as well, and I remember I bought that, The Simpsons Sing the Blues, which had Do the Bartman on. Do you remember that?
Yep. Do the Bartman.
Yeah.
That's taken me back now.
I had it on cassette. Bought it from Woolworths.
Good on cassette.
I think it was like $3.99 for the album.
Yeah.
Saved up my pocket money.
And then you got the B-side.
Yeah.
And if you were lucky, the little leaflet inside gave you the lyrics.
The lyrics as well, yeah. Yeah. Those are the days.
Yep.
No Mr. Blobby in the US, says Lisa P. All I can say is, lucky old you. We did have Gumby, though, and Mr. Bill.
Mr. Bill.
Yeah. I'll have to Google that in a minute. I think I know the name Gumby, but I don't know why. Gumby. Was he like a bear or something, Gumby?
Gumby. Actually,
Gumby.
Sounds familiar as well. Gumby.
Jane says, I've just got 2 of the Showstoppers, one for me and one for my friend. Well done, Jane. And what a lovely friend you are, getting one for your friend. Hello to Jacqueline, who says, afternoon, Ben and Craig. Just been cutting the grass while it's still nice and sunny in Banstead.
Oh, that first grass cut of the year.
Have you mowed the lawn yet?
No, not yet.
No.
I've jet washed.
Have you?
Yeah, last week. I had fun jet washing.
I might, if you would allow me, have to borrow your jet wash at some point.
Of course you can.
Does it clean patios quite well?
Yeah, that's what I've done with mine.
Ah.
That's what I've done with mine, yeah.
Would you put like a detergent in it or something?
I don't, because the power of the jet wash
just gets all the algae
gets it all out, yeah. It gets it all out. I love it. It's now my new favourite yearly job.
Is this a Karcher?
No, it's a German brand I got off a QVC a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was German. Yeah, forgive me if it's not, but yeah, it's incredible. So let's go in to here. So I've got my dies.
Yeah.
So if we bring our dies in, and then I'm going to then, obviously, as you can see there, I have gone in and created my background, and then we're going to do our frosted, magnetic, and then top plate.
Yep.
So we're going to die cut. I think that's moved. And the reason, no, it's not, but actually it's a good way to show. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tape it to my cutting plate, Ben, because my tape's not going to stick to that, because technically it's still wet, it's still open, what we would call, because it's a water-based ink pad.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm just going to line up again. I actually didn't need my magnetic shim, because there's pressure enough without it. But we've got then our backdrop, and then we're going to bring in our folder here. So if I take that one out here, and what you'll see is the one that I've already done, where I've gone lighter in tones, you'll see the difference. So if I bring in my, what have I done with
Can
my
you just
folder?
run through as well for Cindy Conley what ink pads you used again?
So they're Water Reactive. I've used the Fuchsia, the Spring Meadow, Lemon Tonic, Oasis, and then I'm going to use the Seal Brown.
Nice.
So that's the one that we're going to use. So it's Seal Brown or yeah, I'll use Seal Brown. So let's go in now. Now that I've inked round the edges, What I'm not really worried about is the outer edge, because we're going to trim it again after. So let's take our folder, let's take our water-based ink pad, and again I'm going to go onto what I would class as the flat side. So the detail is debossed into the folder, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to go circular motions, and I'm inking up. Now you could use a brayer if you want to, or you could then dab the ink over the top with the egg sponges if you want, but we're just going in flat here. And then I'm going to take my inky background. So again, I'm going to go onto that opposite side just so it doesn't move. And then we're going to close that over. We're then going to go in with our base. Let's go in with our magnetic and then frosted. Run that one through. So whereas at first you might think, oh gosh, that's really strong in colour, which it is, and we're still going to get a strength of colour. But what will happen is if we then open it up.
Oh, wow.
But what we've got is we've got that variety of colour, but then you've also got, of course, that brown that's dulling it down slightly. So let's take our ink pad again, and then I've done that on the wrong side, not that it matters. Let's ink up. So I'm just doing exactly as I done before. And if you wanted to be specific, Ben, if maybe you wanted to pop ink on a certain area of the cardstock, so maybe the fish could be one set of colour, you know, the other one could be another colour, you could do that. This time, I know usually I would hover underneath, but of course I don't want any of that ink to get on there just now. So let's do it the other way. So if I go in and layer that over the embossed side, so if I layer that over like so, into position and close it. As I said before, you can do them both together, but me personally, I just prefer to do one at a time, just in case one moved. You can tape them down. I'm also not a big fan of taping down any dies within embossed detail, only because the pressure of the Gemini. Yeah. It can be a little bit too much. So now we've got the brown outline, and then if we do that once more, so if I bring in my ink pad again, done it on the wrong side again. But the thing is, even although I'm saying the wrong side, Ben, it doesn't matter because you don't see the other side once we've then stuck it down. So let's go in with this one, and then we're going to do the same. So turn that one around. If you're just joining, you don't have to put black card underneath every time. I'm only doing it so that you can see. So let's go in with this fishy here. There we go. Bring and layer that one up over the top. And just following that edge. Close that one over. Run through. And then all we need to do is simply layer up. But again, I'll show you the other one that I've also done, because I've not gone as strong with my blending. I've gone in maybe a little bit more subtler. Same colours, but a little bit subtler. So we've now got two of our fish, and then we've got our main embossed layer. And this one, the actual embossed frame all the way around, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim right up to that edge. So that does become my frame for my image. So let's then just slither till we've got it. And then if I go in with that last one. So I've now got that framework. And then if I bring in white matte and layer for it to sit on. And then let's just bring in our tape. The only other thing that I've also done is using the pens, I've die cut into white cardstock, the two fish. Okay. So if I bring them, I've already done that there. So done, no embossing, no nothing. I've simply just die cut them into white card. I'm going to add this onto a card blank. That white frame onto a white card blank just gives it that faux shadow. And then let's come in with That is that one. That is that one. So let's layer these ones up. So if I then just add my tape into place. I was saying in Wake Up Call, for myself, Ben, when I've got a lot more time, I tend to use my tacky glue on the back of an embossed design.
Yeah.
Just because you've got so many like dips and valleys within the back of a embossed detail that sometimes your tape, it's only ever going to then sit on that top layer, whereas your tacky glue will then soak into all the layers. So let's go in with another drop shadow where the white is going to break it up. And then let's then finish with some foam pads.
Well, you're mesmerising Pat with the demo. She says, I'm mesmerised by the techniques, Craig. I'll definitely be going back to rewatching the show. And Ash Cambo says, awesome demonstrations by Craig. Jen says, happy colours look like a pile of Easter eggs. You know, that's another thing they did look like earlier on, Easter eggs. Won't be long till that comes around as well.
Nope.
20th of April, I think it is.
Is that when? Yeah, it is. It's WrestleMania weekend.
Is that the weekend, is it?
Yeah. Oh. Yep. It is
later
indeed.
This year?
It is later this year, yeah. What, Easter or WrestleMania?
Mm. Both later this year, yeah.
Both. There we go. Now, giving it that drop shadow of the white just makes it stand out even more. And as before, just use your own little sentiment or, you know, sentiment dye or the vellums. It's entirely up to yourself.
Brilliant, wasn't it? Absolutely lovely demonstration. Thank you for the comments coming through. Loads of love for the colours that Craig chose and just for the techniques that you saw within that demonstration as well. Loads of love coming through. If you do want that Showstopper, we are around about half the stock is gone now, so super busy for that collection. Just for an extra £4, you'll get, well, everything else that you're seeing on your screen right there. Both of the pens are tricolour, aqua, and that tricolour marker. You've got the beautiful ink pad included as well, plus the sentiment stamps, the thankful stamp and die set, and of course those beautiful dies here, the stunning vintage corner collection, and as we keep saying, at $16.99 on its own. So to get all of that for an extra £4, I think is an incredible deal, and that's why the majority of people are going for that Showstopper today. Platinum price £24 or $32 if you are shopping with us in the US. Gorgeous says, loads of lovely comments flying through. We'll have about half an hour or so when we come back, so get those questions in. Last chance saloon really to fly any questions in for Craig. Anything you want to know particularly about this collection or anything about embossing in general, fire those questions in and we'll come back and join you for the final part of the show in about 4 minutes time.
Hi, my name's Amelia Sirocco. Ben challenged us to write a limerick and he sang mine on Crafters TV, so I'm giving it another go. Advance notice, producer Johnny, sorry. When Sarah was gone, we were sad, but now she is back and we're glad. Showstoppers each day say what? Shout hip hooray, my packages are on their way. Thanks for all you do.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty program today and receive 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits to joining Club Inspire include special members-only sales, and you can receive discounts or exclusive access to products, and even free gifts. You will receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro that you spend. And the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. See if you can craft your way up to our ultimate Club Inspire tier, Platinum, where you'll enjoy the very best discounts and rewards that we offer. As you keep climbing through the club, you can actually reach Platinum Plus and even Platinum for Life, The more points you collect, the more you will be rewarded within our amazing special Club Inspire community. So, what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Hello everyone, Munchkin and I wrote a poem to tell you how much we love Crafter's Companion. Sarah being back is a wondrous sight. Sarah has always brought us a treasure trove of delights. Your papers shimmer and make all our crafts shine. Your pens, pencils, and markers make all crafters say, they are mine. Your scissors are like a sword in the hand. Your glue is so strong it is in the highest demand. Crafters TV is the happiest sight. All crafters plan their schedules for this amazing delight. The interaction with staff, presenters, and hosts brings fun satisfaction and happiness to most. Ben brings us the most entertaining crafting song, but in the end, it all comes down to being able to craft along. Sarah and Crafter's Companion, we wish you the most successful 2025 and so many more years to come. Thank you for everything that you give to us.
The instruction and inspiration is mind-blowing.
The inspiration, the products to make our own and make it our own.
I get so much inspiration and tips and tricks from everyone there at Crafter's Companion.
And there's so much support, respect, and inspiration all through the socials.
I like to watch Crafters TV as often as I'm free, and I always get new ideas each time, and it certainly helps kickstart my mojo.
That is why I love Crafter's Companion, because they make me look like a better crafter and give me ways to do things that I haven't tried before.
I wouldn't be the crafter I am today without Crafters TV, so thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. Are you enjoying the show? Yes, I think you are. Half the stock of the Showstopper has gone, so you're going to have to be very, very quick to grab it. Absolutely stunning cards, Craig, says Genesis. The tree would look fabulous using that technique as well. Sparkly Sue says, beautiful card, love the colours, and love the fishy folder, says Zoe Carver. Definitely going on the wish list, or maybe that goes on the fish list. Thanks for the demo, Craig. LDD says, thank you for your innovative fish card. So interesting how you could use those 3D dies. And also a big thanks, Craig, for your short tutorial on 2D dies. Angie says, I had to step away for a while. Quick question, is it possible to colour over the gold cards, such as an orange alcohol pen?
So you can, depending on the colour of the card, you can pretty much colour on anything with an alcohol pen. It just depends, of course, on the colour of the card. If you're using a dark cardstock and then a pastel alcohol pen, you're not going to see it because it's pastel on dark. So depending on what it is. So what colour was it she said?
Well, she said to put like an orange over a gold.
So an orange over a gold, as long as it's a really, really strong orange, then potentially yes, but you'd need to think as well as the colour of the shade, that metallic that a gold is, might be a little bit difficult going back to whatever the shade of the orange is. So as long as it's a strong, powerful one and it's alcohol, you can pretty much colour onto anything.
Excellent stuff. And LDD says, until I watched the tutorials, I didn't understand the distinction between 2D and 3D. So hopefully things are hitting home. If you do need more information, instruction, ideas as far as embossing is concerned, don't forget tonight on Beautiful Beginnings, in an hour and a half, in fact, we're going to be looking at more embossing. We've got an embossing starter kit for you, plus a whole host more. Also going to be diving into the Majestic Unicorn collection. And of course, you can fire in those questions for Beautiful Beginnings Essential Corner tonight. Just after 6 o'clock, we'll be sitting down and answering all of your questions. Shall we get back? Because I know we've got half an hour left. You've got a couple more things you want to show us, Craig, haven't you?
I do indeed, yes. So this first one, Ben, let's take the Tree of Life. And what I've got here is some vellum. Gone in for some vellum, and this looks phenomenal. So what I'm going to do is I've got my vellum cut to size, and then we're going to pop that in. Nothing different. We're still going to go in with our base plate. We're going to go in with our magnetic and then our frosted shim. and then we're going to run that one through. So let's run that one through. You might find sometimes some little bits on the really, really deep bits, what could happen, it's not that it's torn, but it's kind of as if it's been cut in, but it's only tiny little bits that is hard to see.
Yeah.
But if I bring in, look at that.
Oh, it's like parchment,
yeah.
isn't it? Parchment.
Pergamano, is it? And
Pergamano.
So, if we go in there, so it gives you that natural white work that you can see within that one there. So we've got that. But then what I'm going to do as well, just to lift it ever so slightly, and as you can see, you don't necessarily have to do it, but if you've got our pure white pigment ink pad, and then all that I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over the top. So I'm not pressing it. Essentially, Ben, what I'm doing is I'm letting it sit, and then I'm just travelling
Right, yeah. Super
down.
light touch.
So just letting it sit, travelling down, and then that's just then going to highlight it that little bit more. And then we're going to do the same when it comes to the tree. So we're going to run this one through here. So let's bring in my plate. I am going to tape this one down because it's the only bit of vellum that I've got with me. So let's tape that one down. And I'm going to use my, taking out my top plate, and we're going to go frosted base plate, run that one through. We're just then going to recap that, do exactly the same. This is where though, and this is kind of a nice little demo bringing in the vellum and adhesive, because it's all vellum. So we need to position it so you don't see the adhesive. So if I then take that one out, so there's a good example there. It's not quite cut at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip away all this excess, because if I don't, there's a chance, Ben, that that excess might just move over slightly, and then of course you end up cutting that. So I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to go back in, down, and then let's go in with our frosted magnetic top plate. It's only the top, as you can see. So let's just go in and do the pause and reverse. One of the greatest things with, of course, the feature of the Gemini. And then let's take that one out. So we've now got our tree that's in the vellum. So let's take our folder, set that to the side of me, and then I'm going to go back to the way that I like to do it.
That's crazy that you're going to be able to achieve this on vellum.
Exactly.
In my mind, like I just think this is going to be absolutely incredible.
It is. Wait till...
On a die-cut piece of vellum.
Yeah. And the thing is, Ben, although all these layers I've got pre-prepped, you've not seen any of them today.
No.
I've not shown you any of them, so you genuinely don't know what any of the layers look like. So nothing different, still going to go base plate, magnetic, and then I'm going to go in with my frosted shim, and then we're going to run that one through. So you can then come along with little pearls in there, whether it's liquid glues, any of your glitter glues, anything like that. But then if I then open this one and then prise that one off, and then add that on there.
That is amazing.
Isn't that incredible?
That almost looks like lace work, doesn't it? Like
yes, it does.
Doily-esque.
It really, really does. And there is absolutely no need to go over with the pure white pigment if you don't want to, because it's still incredible as it is. But do you know what? If you want to, you've got that option. And it's just then going, you'll see it more up close, where it just, and it is ever so slight, Ben. It's not that this makes a dramatic difference. It's not as if, as I said, you have to, but if you do just want to go in and add
just a final bit of detail, isn't it, I suppose?
That's it. That is it. So if I bring those two in, I'm going to bring in the ones I've already done, only because I've cut it to size, but also so you can see there's nothing different.
Yeah.
So that's what I've already done. So they're pretty much identical. So let's move that out the way. And then let's move that out the way. Now, if I go like that, you don't see it.
No.
But I don't want black So I'm just going to go in with a little bit of grey.
Okay.
And see how that just elevates it even more with that little bit of light grey.
What sort of card is that? Is that linen cardstock or?
Yes, this is just a light grey linen cardstock.
Right.
Yeah, it's actually from an older texture pads that we used to do.
Oh yeah.
But any of your light grey will work an absolute treat. So if I come along within this one here, adding that in, and then we can set that into there. You notice I always have my large white frames because that's just personal preference.
Loads of love for this demo, Craig, coming in. Amazing, says Hilary. Outstanding on the Vellum, says Lois. Stunning, says Jen. Outstanding demo, says Jeffrey. Incredible.
Appreciate that. But really, the wow is in the technique. You know what I mean? It really, really is. And then all that I'm doing is to hide the adhesive, I'm just doing little dots in each corner.
Yeah.
And then what we're going to do here is let's use a little bit of glue gel. Because the foam pad, if I were to even just take a little foam pad, if I take that back and off, what would happen is you would see, I don't know, there you go, you can see that square right there. And it's not as if that would enhance the design anymore. That could probably be visually off-putting. So therefore, if we go in and just tiny little bits, and a little bit like the base there, just into your corners, and maybe a little bit into the middle there, and then there. And even though they're just little bits, you can still lift them because it's that glue gel. You've got that flexibility and liftability, so to speak. But if I then bring that in to there, and then lightly press into there, and then Ben, that's it.
So good.
That is it. But it's the detail, the attention to detail that Sheena has put into all of these. We are going to do a little bit of colour in a moment, but you know my kind of style isn't always necessarily detailed colouring. Mine's is letterpress, mine's is Gilding Wax, mine's is all these different things. So it's a good way to see my way and then go into the inkette groups and see Sheena and her team's way.
Trudy's just asked, Craig, could you work a hot foil into the tree?
You could... Depends on what you're meaning by could you work a hot foil into it. If we don't get a chance to answer it in this one, ask again in Beautiful Beginnings. You might have time to actually ask it again, but I'm not quite sure what you're meaning by incorporating your hot foil into it.
Love the Vellum tree, says Zoe. If you've never embossed Vellum, you really must try it. I mean, I think if you've never embossed Vellum and then you've watched that and it doesn't inspire you to have a go, then what else do we need to do? Darlene says, I've just joined and this demo is absolutely gorgeous. I've just ordered my Showstopper. And Kathy Green in Mechanicsburg has a question. Craig, it looks stunning as is the Vellum, but would it work to then colour it somehow, like an ink pad or pencils and markers? Could you colour over the top of the Vellum?
Oh, yeah, you could. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
You could go in with your alcohol pens if you want to. You can still use water-based if you want to as well. Vellum is a bit like, it's a little bit of a mix. It's kind of like a smooth surface, but also a little bit of a porous surface. So if you're doing water-based, just let it kind of naturally soak in. But yeah, you can do your watercolouring with the Vellum, the pencils, of course, things like that. Watch the pressure, because you don't want to put too much pressure and then you push all that embossed detail that you've done. But yeah, if you can go in with your Illustrator pens, anything like that, with the brushes and that would be fab.
I almost feel like, I don't know how everyone else feels though, but in my mind, like you obviously do you do what you want. I almost feel like it would ruin what you've done there, adding colour to it.
Yep, yeah, that's it, exactly as you said. It's entirely up to yourself.
Yeah.
And yes, you're going to get a really nice, essentially what it's going to look like is coloured Vellum. But yeah, try it and see.
Yeah, you've got all these options, haven't you? You can try stuff out, see if you prefer, the coloured version over, just what Craig did there. But this is the option that you're afforded. We're 55% of the Showstopper now, 55%. Increments gradually disappearing here, and if it keeps going at this rate, you won't be able to get the Showstopper by tomorrow. This will not be here. So take advantage. And just to run through it again with you so you know exactly what you're getting, I'll do that for you. And then Craig will have one final demo. So everything you're getting here, right, and I'll show you the boards again in just a second, but the two brand new embossing folders and die sets from Sheena are within the Showstopper. So they are a price, platinum, of £20, $28, right, if you're a platinum member. And you can buy those two on their own if you want to. However, 99.9% of people have gone, well, hang on a minute, I can get both of those and then pay an extra £4 or $4 and get all of this other stuff added in. Yes, that is definitely the way you want to go. 2 pens you're going to be getting. So you're going to get your tricolour marker here. This is the reflective pool. 3 colours you're going to be getting, and of course, alcohol. You're also going to get the beautiful Garden Majesty. 3 colours you're going to be getting in there, but that is a watercolour pen. So 2 pens first of all, and again, you could argue that £4, $4 value, you've got it right there and then some. We're then giving you an 8-piece frame set, which is the beautiful vintage corners. You're getting on top of that the opportunity to try out, and this is the thing again with a set like this, you'll use these with the embossing folders. You'll definitely use this with the embossing folder as well. The beautiful evergreen ink pad shimmer, beautiful, beautiful colour, and you're getting that beautiful silver shimmer in there as well. So you'll be using all of this with the embossing folders, and then we give you another set of beautiful stamps and dies, the Thankful from our Thanksgiving collection, and then you've got your set of sentiment from the Written in Feathers collection. So 10 sentiments in there. All of those other goodies that I've shown you are £4 or $4. You do you, but that's definitely the value if you're going for both of these. If you just want to pick up one of the embossing folders and dies, you know, maybe you prefer the fish over the tree or vice versa, you can obviously go individually, but if you're thinking of buying both of these, it's got to be worth spending that extra £4 or $4 to pick up all of the extras that I've just shown you. But here are those dies with that embossing folder, 4x6 in sizes. Craig's been showing you brilliantly over the course of this show, and indeed Wake Up Call. The emboss really is second to none. Stunning, stunning detail within this, and then you can just use the embossing folder on its own if you want. You can then die cut the fish in this instance out, pop those into the embossing folder to get that beautiful emboss on your die cut, and then you've got options whether or not you then want to just use the embossing folder on its own, or you can then layer these over onto the emboss to create a really cool 3D effect. That is the Balance and Tranquility, and then this one here is the Tree of Life. I think I've probably seen equal comments when it comes to which is your fave, but a lot of people talking about the tree, although if we're talking sales-wise, I've just heard in my ear that the fish are out, and he said out swimming. The fish, I mean, the fish would outswim a tree, but the fish are outselling the tree. So there you go. It's the same take again here as well, in the fact that you get your die cut element there, cut that out, pop that into your folder to create a beautifully detailed embossed die cut. And of course, here's that embossing folder. If you just want to create, you know, an embossed background, pair the two together, and you've got something which looks absolutely brilliant. A few quick comments and then we'll do the final demo with Craig. Good morning, Brenda Monroe in Michigan. Good to see you. All of these demos have been amazing, says Cindy Condy. I am convinced I need these in my life. Don't dawdle too long is what I would say if you want them. Mesmerising demo, says Mary Beth Doyle. And Pamela says, love that card made with the vellum. It's so brilliant that you've shown us the different papers that can be used with these dies. Thank you, Craig. And Jeffrey says, great for using moonbeam shimmering watercolours as well. This is the thing, you know, you do you. You think of the different things that you've got in your craft room, the different inks, you've got the different paints, the different pens that you want to use with these collections. Absolutely go to town, try things out. We're just like facilitating, you know, Craig's giving you ideas so that if you are a little bit stuck when you get these back and you think, what can I do with them? You can come back to this show, you can try out everything Craig's done and, you know, have some ideas to get those creative juices flowing. We've got about 15 minutes, so shall we squeeze in one final demo?
Yes, let's do it. What we'll do is I'll show you some samples again first of all, and then we can then delve in. And actually what we're going to do next, I'm obviously not going to get the full demo done, but we'll get the start of it done and then the finished example to be shown. But what my way to do, Ben, is you can do exactly what I'm doing, but with your, as you were saying, sunbeam and moonbeam. I'm going to be using my Water Reactive Inkpads, a shock horror, because you know it's my favourite, and we're actually going to watercolour with them.
Oh, nice.
You can, of course, use things such as your aqua pens, sunbeam, moonbeam, glitter palettes, all of those you're going to be able to use. But yeah, lots of ideas here, lots of different ways, lots of different uses. As you can see here, every single one has been made using the base folder embossed as well as the die being embossed. But you could just use them individually if you want. If you want to just do the base, you can do. If you just want to then do, of course, the fish and the tree of life, you can do. It's entirely up to you. So let's go in watercolour card that I've got here. And we're going to go in and we're going to do the die cuts. So let's take my tape down. So if we then just tape them down to die cut and bring in our plates. So if we pop them all in like so to die cut. I've then got my Honey Pot Chinese red, and I have got Grasshopper, although I might not have time to use that, but I'll go over the colours again once I've used them. So if I take my dies out, so carefully prise that one out here, and then let's go in with our folder again. So let's take my black card again, and then let's go into here. So if I align that up, so we're just going to get that into...
Does that actually, I've just been wanting to do this in the whole show.
Yeah.
Does it actually feel like it like slots into place the way you line that, or is it quite...
No, because it's a little bit bigger than the actual...
Sorry,
no, go for it.
Oh, okay.
So you get kind of like an outer edge, a miller or so outer edge.
Fine.
So it's not as if it feels like it's... So actually, it's good that you're doing it. So you see what I mean? All that you're doing, the outer detail of the fish, you're just kind of lining up with that outer detail. That's just my way. Try, and we'll still have time to do a little bit of colouring, try the other way, just so, you know how I'm saying, one or the other. So try just sitting it, holding the folder, and see what I mean?
Yeah.
Try it and see, but it's because you can't actually see the detail because the card's covering it. Whereas if you do it the way I've been doing it,
I think that is the
you
way.
can see the detail.
I just wanted to see that was all.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. If that was the perfect size, you would feel it slot into place. But because it's just got that little
It's
edge
just like a
to
reference guide, isn't it, really?
It is. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So we can go in, line up into position here. So we're just going to then move that in. So visually following the edges. Once I am happy, we're going to close that. But the thing is as well, at the end of the day, it's only a tiny piece of card.
And I also understand a little bit more now as well why you do one fish at a time.
Yeah, because as you can imagine, trying to set them in, run them through without moving. As I said, you can add tape down if you want, but because our Gemini is so powerful with pressure, I prefer not to. Right, I shall just do this one because the other fish would be the same, but with a different colour. And I think, let me see when I finish. Yeah, so this one went in with the honey pot. So the honey pot, what we can do is go onto our glass mat. And actually, let's do a little bit of both, just so you can see. And the other one going in with the Chinese red. And then what we're doing, essentially, we're just going to use the lines and act as though they are stamped lines. So if I pick this up with my water, and then if I then start, say for instance, this part here, and all that I'm doing is I'm just following that edge. So we're just going to then go all the way down. So remember, using your watercolour cardstock with this one, because of course we are going to be adding a fair amount of water to this.
Yeah.
If you know that you're not really going to be overly saturating it, Ben, you can absolutely use your watercolour, multi-purpose cardstock.
Yeah.
But I would only kind of do that if I'm not really going to town with the actual water itself. I'm just going to go in a little bit deeper here. Actually, I'm going to go straight over the eye, because then, as you'll see with the finished one, what we can have is like a little dot for the eye.
Yeah.
So purposely going in quite deep now at this point, and then someone's having fun out there.
And there's been a lot of banging and
There
crashes
has been
today,
a
hasn't
lot
there?
of banging
I think
today,
that's the
yeah.
fourth I've heard today.
Yeah.
That sounded quite painful, though.
It did
whoever that
actually,
was.
yeah. I'm not sure exactly what it was. Just as well it's coming to the end of the show. I think Ben's away to check to see. Or was it? It was Jake, was it? I'm wondering what it was he's dropped. But there we go. Let's just keep going in. And then start to infill. I believe Jake has dropped the metallic marker box.
So it's the metallic markers box, but it's got like glasses and cups in it as well, and it's everywhere. I would go and help him, but unfortunately,
you're live.
I'm live, but he's okay, everybody.
Main thing, he is good. Now, the finished one that you'll see, I've done one fish red and one fish yellow, but just to show you a little bit of both, what I'm doing is I'm just going to then kind of use them both, just so you can get that idea. This one being the honey pot. So I'm just going to go in with a light tone first, really starting to then drag that one out. So for me, it's a bit like I'm doing my alcohol colouring, whereas I'm going in light first and making that light lay down, and then I can go back. If you're adding more ink, make sure that you go onto an unwet piece of glass mat, because you don't want to then take, of course, or dilute anything into your ink pad.
Mm-hmm.
So let's then go back in a little bit more heavy-handed with the colour. And then even then, always remember as well, just before we run out of time, you can always, even just the tiniest bit of brown, blend all your own colours and make it even darker if you want to, just by adding that teeny little bit, that little bit more darkness. It's still got the yellow tinge to it, but got that little bit of brown to it, and then start to then draw that out into here. And again, even then, if I want a bit more, remember, if you're putting your ink down, don't put it into a pool of water there. Make sure it's dry. Yeah. Because you don't want that water to then saturate back into the ink pad and dilute it. So let's then add just even a little bit more. And the paint brushes, you'll find them on the website.
You've got choices, haven't you, as well? Because I noticed you're using the Crafter's Companion ones, but we've also got the Royal and Lang nickel, haven't we?
Have we got them back?
I'm sure they're in stock, aren't they?
Ah, nice.
Either or, though.
Although, in saying that, I would still just keep using these because I've got these.
What size is that one?
Number 8.
Number 8.
Number 8.
So there's an 8 and a 3/4 inch wash brush in the Royal and Lang nickel.
So that must be roughly that kind of size,
Yeah.
3/4 of an inch, yeah. It's a good one for doing the washes on your background and that. So I'll just do this little bit in here. And then you'll see the additional backdrop. We've used Grasshopper. We've then used, I think it's Pink Tulip. And then I think it's Midnight. But you'll see what I mean in a moment. Let's just then bring this in. So I'm using the outer edge of the embossed detail as a replacement of like a stamped edge. And then just keep on going.
Yeah.
You can see here, 2 separate sentiments. So Chinese red, honey pot, pink tulip, grasshopper, and then midnight blue. But just even on to a backdrop there that you can see within that one there.
Absolutely brilliant. We are pretty much at the end of the show now, and pretty much 60% of the Showstopper stock has gone. So we'll leave it with you. You know what to do. If you want to jump in and grab it, if you've waited the whole show, then of course now will be the time to get those carts and those baskets checked out. It's definitely just saying I could see using sparkle inks or pens in this as well. Why not? Again, using your clear overlay to add a little bit of sparkle, particularly like you say to the fish, would look absolutely brilliant. But yes, if you want to pick up this deal, 60% pretty much of that Showstopper has gone now. Those 2 fantastic new folders, 3D embossing folders with the dies from Sheena. They are superb, and I think Craig's done a brilliant job in demonstrating those to you today across a multitude of different materials, multitude of different inks and waxes and all sorts. So if you are getting these home today for that brilliant price, you have got the opportunity now to try lots of different things out. Come back to this show, and you've then got 2 hours here, pretty much an hour from earlier on as well, of all of the inspiration, all of the ideas, and I know you'll have plenty of ideas yourself. And listen, it is entirely up to you how you go about picking these deals up. You can go individually. Yes, of course you can buy the tree individual to the fish, but I would just say to you, if you love both of the embossing folders there and you're thinking of getting them, it's absolutely worth paying an extra £4 or $4 if you're a platinum member to get all of the extra goodies that you get within the Showstopper. If you want to just buy the folders on their own and pay 20 or 24, 20 or 28, I should say, that's entirely up to you. And yeah, absolutely go ahead and do that. But I think you're missing a trick for an extra $4 to get all of these other goodies as well. But like I say, that is entirely up to you. But whatever you do, make sure you shop after the show because it will be busy. And with only 40% of the stock remaining, I can't see the Showstopper being available for you from tomorrow. So do make sure you shop. We've got beautiful beginnings still to come tonight in just over an hour's time. More embossing, Craig. And once again, we are going to be... I know again you'll have demos, but you're quite happy, aren't you? Particularly in Beautiful Beginnings to show and demonstrate. If anyone's got any embossing folder queries, you're quite happy to wing it, as you would say.
Absolutely, yeah. Beautiful Beginnings is definitely probably the one out of all of them, whereas I tend to come prepared in my mind. However, I don't really have prep packs or that as such because I open it up to you guys at home. If there is anything you want to see, I do have a few things already to start us off, and then we'll just get the show going, get it flowing, and you let us know what you want me to see.
Craig's going to be taking me through a few bits and pieces as well, which I'm looking forward to. And I know I always say this, and I think we're getting better at this, particularly on a Wednesday. There are no silly questions,
nope,
right?
Never.
Honestly, even if you think, oh, it's probably the most simplest thing, and they're going to think I'm sick, we're not. Please ask it. Please, 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 whatever it is, if you need to know, ask, and we will help you. We want you to get the best out of the products. We want you to get crafting and have fun. So please ask the question, because as we always say, chances are if you're thinking it, there's 20 other people who are probably thinking it and too scared to ask. So if you stick your hand up and ask, that's what we want, and that's what Beautiful Beginnings is all about tonight. We'll also do Essentials Corner for you as well, as I say. So if your query is non-embossing folder related, we'll open that up for you later on. Any crafty conundrums, anything you're stuck with, maybe you're working on a project at the minute and you're not quite sure about something, maybe you've got a query about a machine, maybe you've got a query about glues or cardstock, whatever it is, let's make it nice and interactive tonight. We'll meet you back here in an hour's time. Thank you so much for watching. Massive thank you to Craig. Check out those baskets, get shopping, check out the National Craft Month sale on the website with all that soft craft goodness, and we'll see you back here in an hour. But until then,
toodles!